Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
I'm Mike.
And today we are reviewing a music album. We don't review a lot of albums, but every so often the moment hits us, the mood strikes, and
Yeah.
the mood definitely strikes because earlier this month there was a new album dropped by the legendary rock band, the Rolling Stones, which happens to be Mikey's favorite band. So of course he was going to listen to it the day it came out. I didn't listen to all of it. I listened to most of it. The name of the album is Foreign Tongues, and we're going to talk about, I don't know if we'll go track by track. We might just give some overall opinions. We'll see how it goes as we're talking. I do want to start with the album cover itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a great album cover.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious. Some people don't
great.
like it, but I think it's funny. It's a mosaic of all their faces and mundled up together, so it looks good.
Yeah, I thought the album cover was very cool looking. The minute I saw it, it felt like a Rolling Stones album cover to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very cool. I'm like, all right, I'm in. They got me. They got me hooked on that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that because I feel like people don't think about art for the album covers anymore because no one actually buys albums and everything is always just streaming. You never even see it. But that used to be like a huge thing, was the art on these album covers. And I wonder if they put more thought into it because they are from the era where album covers are important.
Absolutely. Because before this album came out, in order to promote it, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, they released one of their songs under their, like, another alias. They used to call themselves the Cockroaches. So they used to do like surprise shows back in the day. Like you would just show up to a club
and they'd be there.
And they would just show up and they would be called the Cockroaches. So they actually released, like, on vinyl only, limited edition. Good luck getting that. But anyway, they had like a website. Maybe it's still up now. I'm sure it is. But it had the Cockroaches, and every once a week they would update it where, like, there'd be like, you could touch the calendar. It'd be like an apartment. So now the calendar would have like the release date up there, and then you could click on a jacket and it would open up like merchandise, But they've always been they come from that place where that kind of old school promotion and all that. So it's definitely.
Well, I was going to say, and that's a very like modern way to promote for such an old school band. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, they're very innovative.
Yeah.
I think they were the first band actually to be live stream on the internet, like in the 90s. They were the first ones to do like on AOL. Yeah, they were like the first ones to do it. Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
So they continue to be an innovative band despite being around for what feels like forever.
Yeah.
It's good for them. Good for them for keeping up. That's the only way to keep last. That's really it.
And actually,
embracing technology is the way to survive, they say.
Yeah.
But
And I'm going to be fair as possible because we've done other album reviews and other bands.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a problem if I don't like an album by one of my favorite bands or artists. Like one of my other favorite bands who I've seen over 30 times live, which is Dream Theater. Their last album I did not like. I think I gave it a 6. Now I think I give it a lowest.
Wow. All right.
But that's not a very good album. But this doesn't mean I don't love them or care about them. But PJ, like you said, the Rolling Stones probably have the perfect name because they are literally, they never gather any moss. They keep growing.
Yeah,
and
they do.
Their last album was awesome, Hackney Diamonds. And then when I heard they were releasing a new album, I'm not going to lie, part of me was like, oh my God, that album was so good. I'm like, don't ruin it. I don't want to be morbid. They're older gentlemen now, so you don't want their last album to be a bit clunky or anything. But I got to say, this album is excellent. I think Hackney Diamonds, the previous album, is the better album overall, but this is a very awesome follow-up. And if, like I said, not to be morbid, if this is their last album, it's still a great way to...
It's not a bad way to go out.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's really unbelievable. And like I said, I kind of have a track by track, but we'll kind of go through it.
Yeah.
But, it starts off with, actually, it's the same producer. His name's Andrew Watt, who's also with McCartney. I think he's worked with Ariana Grande. So this guy's like the hottest thing in town. And the Stones themselves kind of compare him to Jimmy Miller, which was their producer back in the 60s and 70s. Who's done their murderous row of albums. So like Becker's Banquet, Sticky Fingers, Exile on Main Street. He was their dude during that time period. So to get that kind of praise is huge. And he definitely brings the best out of them because, their last album before Hackney Diamonds was like 2005. And that album's that good, really. It's like 18 songs. It's too long. Maybe it's like 6 good songs and the rest are truthfully They're kind of just filler. But this album is actually 14 tracks. I don't really love albums that are longer than.
I usually like 10 to 12 and tops.
Yeah,
that's for me.
But I'll get into that. But for a 14-track album, it does go fast. I gotta say, it doesn't drag out. I do have 2 songs here I'll probably, if I could, eliminate, but I heard in an interview.
I wonder if any of those are any of the ones that I felt like. I'm like, I don't need this one.
Yeah.
I'm curious if it's the same one.
Yeah.
This album started off real strong.
Yeah.
Because I love the first song.
Yeah. And then we'll get into the tracks. Yeah. So the first track is called Rough and Twisted. That was their first single. This one is just very bluesy. It's
very bluesy. I was going to say that. Really kind of reminded me almost of like Sweet Home Chicago a little bit. Like,
yeah.
It had that real bluesy, like that. That was, I haven't gotten through the whole album yet, but I heard that. I'm like, this is a good start. I really like that song.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other bands and artists that do this, but definitely not as much anymore, is they actually do live recording. Means like they sit down together in a studio and they go, all right, guys, play, and they record it. And then they do overdubs, which was always the case before you had Pro Tools and technology got a lot better. But I think a lot of music today kind of has a staleness because everyone's just, like, oh, I'll record my bass track or my, in another state. And you're kind of losing that chemistry. And I literally think Mick Jagger, they give him, usually singing booths are very small, like a phone booth. I think they give him more space because he literally runs around.
He moves around, yeah.
And you can kind of feel it in this song. It feels like a live recording, and you can feel the space and the movement in it. And it's a great opening track. It's bluesy and a great way to roll things out. The next song, which is also their second single, is called In the Stars. I love this song. Maybe the very beginning sounds very like produced, but after that comes in with Keith Richards' signature rhythms and riffs, and it just cooks after that. And for any Stones aficionados, like the riff kind of reminds me of their song Must Be Hell from their underrated album, in my opinion, Undercover. And that's a sick song. It's awesome. Really good. It's a beautiful song. It's rocking. And that song does have controversy because the music video, they use AI filters. So if you see it, they're not in it. They have actors, but they had AI put their younger faces on someone else.
Really? I didn't know that.
So there was a lot of controversy, like, oh, it's AI and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, Stones they're used to controversy. And they were like, look, those are real actors, but it's the same filters you use on your phone. But someone else it's our faces, So, but anyway, it's amazing.
We're getting to a point where we just have to accept the AI. I mean, even George Lucas came out this week and said that it's time to stop hating AI and embrace it as a tool for the future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's starting to, Todd McFarlane said the same thing. You would think a fine artist like who's sitting down with the pencil and paper would be against AI. Even he was like, it's time to embrace it as a tool. So I think we might have to just stop hating on it and just accept that it's going to be a thing.
And you said the key word, PJ, as a tool.
As a tool, yes.
Not as a thing that's going to write your scripts or write your music.
But as a tool.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. The next song after that, I'm not totally in love with the song. It's called Jealous
This is the
Lover.
one I didn't like.
Yeah, and they released it as a single. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm a big person, like when you release a single, especially bands like the Stones, you can't release, I don't want to say this is a ballad, but it's more like a jazzy kind of swing kind of song, and he does a lot of falsetto. I like when Mick Jagger does falsetto. I mean, it was
almost too much falsetto.
Yes, I agree.
And I think that's what ruined it, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, he's got to sound like Mick Jagger at some point on this one, right? He's going to go back into his lower register, and he didn't do it. I felt like it carried on for so long that after a while, I'm like, oh, it's getting annoying.
Yeah, I'm not really, like I said, I don't love this song. I don't think the song is bad. I just don't. It's not pleasing to my ears, and I don't mind when Mick Jagger does falsetto, like his classics like Emotional Rescue. I don't mind it on there, but I agree with you. You nailed it. It's too much. And a few months ago, they did a reissue of their 76 album, Black and Blue. It was on a release track. It was called Shame, 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 and he is doing a lot of falsetto. I don't like that song at all.
It's just too much. I'm not a musician by any stretch. I don't think you're supposed to use your falsetto for an entire song. I think it's just supposed to be for that moment in the song. Because you need it to be. I don't know. I feel like
it works. Falsetto works, like you said, in snippets, and if it does work throughout the song, it's usually like a one and done. Like it drives me crazy. Like that song, Fine Young Cannibals, or even the Bee Gees. That kind of. So it works in certain songs, but nonetheless, it's fine for me. I would probably, if I could edit the album, I would be like, well, it's tough. Definitely not a bad song, but if I could, I would take that one away from me. The next one is called Mr. Charm. And let me tell you, this song is charming. It definitely has a Live With Me vibe, that song. A Midnight Rambler with the riff there. A little bit of shatter the way he sings. It's almost like he's rapping. I don't say he's rapping. He's kind of Mick Jagger, kind of frantic, kind of speaking voice, and it's just catchy. And it's just the ending really has like a big crescendo. And some people say it kind of has like a Jumpin' Jack Flash, where it kind of has like that kind of chaotic outro. But yeah, that's a cool song, man.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good song. Yeah.
The next one's called Divine Intervention.
I didn't love that one. I thought it was okay.
This is another one I would have left off.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's fine what it is. It's catchy. There's nothing wrong with it. But like I said, if I had to pick another one to take off, then this would be it.
Yeah.
And this on a side note, when they released I think it was 91, the album Voodoo Lounge, it was 18 songs, that album. And that's a good album. Oof. It actually won a Grammy for like Best Rock Album. It's a very good album. I don't think it should be 18 songs long. But
it's just too long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
Yeah, double albums are tricky. But I heard in an interview, like an old interview with Keith Richards, like on a magazine, and he says, which I admire for saying this, he goes like, look, we know that some of these songs shouldn't be on the album, but we know the diehards are going to buy another album. We don't want to do that to our diehard fans. So which is admirable. But
yeah,
I think...
don't make somebody pay twice for what they could pay for.
Yeah,
once.
so which is cool.
You know.
And because I know the last album, it seems like they had... The producer probably said, let's keep this album tight. Let's not put anything that we don't think is 100%. So, like I said, Divine Division is not a bad song at all. But if I could, I would have been like, hey, this one makes the cut. And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of like writing a movie, right? Hey, I love this theme, but we don't need it.
We don't need it. Exactly.
Moving right along is I guess you call it their Southern ballad. I was going
to say, this one kind of was a little country. The next one up here was Ringing Hollow.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
This is where I stopped. I didn't get past Ringing Hollow, unfortunately, when I was listening through. But I didn't dislike it. It was a little too Southern for me, but I didn't think it was a bad song.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever they go into their Southern characters, they tend to exaggerate it. And you might get a kick out of their old song, Faraway Eyes, which really hams it up with the whole Southern thing, which is the point of it. And this is actually a political song because it's really, even though he's talking about a woman, it's really about America. And he kind of the band feels like America right now is not the lover it used to be. So
you don't say.
So, but it's not like preachy or anything like that. Someone listening and not even really pick it up. But yeah, after that is called, I think it's one of my favorite tracks on here. It's called Never Gonna Lose You. This should be the single. This should have been the third single, not Jealous. This song just cooks. It's like a disco song. It has like a disco bass line. It kind of reminds me of the song by Kiss, do 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 do, you know, I was loving you, but this song just cooks, and I don't know how they didn't release this as a single. Hopefully they do, because the song just cooks. I mean, like, it's like boom, 4 on the floor. It makes you want to dance. And
I feel like this is such a brand new album. How do they have this many singles already?
I know. I mean, it's a different world. I think nowadays you have to put in crap out. I agree.
I guess because they start promoting these things months and stuff before that they release songs. But it used to be like the album came out when the first single came out. And then now they're up to what 4 singles or something from this album already? And it's been out for 2 weeks. Like, how is that possible?
I know.
But I guess it's a different, I mean, you don't even really, I don't even listen to the radio anymore. So, I mean, singles are a thing of the past anyway, because you just listen to whatever you want. As you're streaming it, you're just building your own playlist, I guess. So I guess calling it a single just means this is the song the band liked the most. I mean, is it? Yeah.
I think it might come down to that. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album, and I would love to hear it live. I recommend anyone, they're like, oh, what's a good song to listen to? This definitely is one of them to listen to, without a doubt. Rough and Twisted, and this one for sure, because this one makes you just want to dance. Like, it's infectious. After that, we have Hit Me in the Head, which has Charlie Watts on drums. He's passed away now. That was their original drummer. But they have archives of, they said, oh, we recorded this back in like 2019. And I got to say, I just can't believe how much energy is in this song. And these are 80-year-old men playing. It's like they're playing like they're 20. And that's the crazy thing about this album. I guess when I wrap it up, how these guys are still rocking, and it's not forced.
I will say he still sounds like himself. He doesn't... If this song would have came out today, or it could have came out 30 years ago, whatever, he doesn't sound like the quality of, like, the tone of his voice has gotten worse. It sounds exactly the same. I'm not the biggest Stones guy or anything like that. I like the band. I don't know that he was ever the best singer in the world. I don't know if he would claim to be the best singer in the world.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
But the quality that he had when they started is still the quality he has now. He doesn't sound like an old dude. I don't know how they pull it's got to be the drugs, right? It's got to be. Like, what else is it?
Yeah, I know.
That was the first thing I really picked up when I was listening to this. I'm like, damn, he sounds the same. This fucking dude doesn't age.
And his voice, I'll say, like, changed back in 1989, but his voice has stayed since, like you said, for the past almost 40 years since that moment. Like, he can't hit certain high notes, but like you said, tonally exactly the same. It's crazy. The guy's like 81, 82 years old.
I don't know how he does it. I really don't. I mean, even the rest of the band, like you would think at this point, they're all, like you said, in their 80s. How is the arthritis not setting in that they could still play the guitar and still pull that off?
Well, I think Keith is suffering now. He's mangled because I think they all want to tour, but I think he physically can't do it. His hands are like, they look spooky if you see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like I said, we're almost done with the track, so we'll talk about our final thoughts and all that stuff. But the next one after that actually is a cover. It's the first cover of the album is called "You Know I'm No Good," which is an Amy Winehouse song. They were huge fans of her. Not surprising. She has that whole jazz, a kind of old school kind of thing, and they're honoring her legacy. And look, the songs they say, hey, we cover songs. They enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
They always say we want to honor Black artists. We want to honor people who just play great music. So for them, some people get like, they're like, oh, that's like, they don't want to admit they covered a song that somehow it takes their credibility. But they're like, we're celebrating music. Like they're music fans first. And then
but I mean, to that point, like they're the reason I know who Howlin' Wolf is. You know what I mean? Like why would I know Howlin' Wolf if not for the fact that they credited Howlin' Wolf as being such an influence on him, and then I went back and listened to that stuff. So yeah, they're always covered and given credit where it's due.
Yep. Then after that, it's Some of Us. This is the mandatory Keith Richards ballads, which is I love when Keith Richards sings, but I prefer when he sings songs that are a little bit more rocking. Sometimes I'm like, bro, like he has some great ballads. I love The Worst. That's a great underrated song. You got The Silver that's always played live and a bunch of other ones, but this is a good song. Nothing wrong with it. It's definitely more mature lyrics. Basically, he says like some of us are on our knees. So it's thinking about death and, praying to God, all that kind of stuff. So, and supposedly this is a track that was like almost 40 years old that he's been kind of working on. So
working on for that long, huh?
Yeah. So definitely not a bad song. I definitely think the last album.
Exercise and stick-to-itiveness if this guy's waiting 40 years to put this song out.
Yeah. So I definitely think his ballad on the last album is way better. Way better. Tell Me Straight, that song is awesome. This song is good. There's another one, honestly, maybe I would have taken out, possibly. But definitely not a bad song. Followed by Covered in You. This has your dad's favorite artist, Paul McCartney on bass. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, all right.
And yeah, it's a good song. It's good. It's catchy. Yeah, it's good. It has like a shuffle beat, kind of a punk beat in there. It's good. It's a good song. It's cool. Right. Yeah, I recommend it. After that is a song called Side Effects. Some of the fans are kind of goofing on this because it's a song about the side effects of taking prescription drugs. And Richards, they do an interview, I think on Apple. Just look up Apple Music, and they do an interview. And it's amazing how these guys not only play well, but they still, in interviews, they're still sharp as hell. Like, there's no mental decline. They still have jokes and they're firing off. And I forgot the exact line because Keith wrote the lyrics to this song. He's like, yeah, I know a lot about side effects and drug use. I forgot the exact line. It was very funny, but yeah, the song's about that. It's has like, I like the verses better than the chorus in this song, but it's still a fun song. It's cool. I like it. After that, this is probably the big one. It's like their big ballad. It's about 6 minutes long. It's called Back in Your Life.
Back in Your Life, yep.
And this is probably going to get a lot of listens throughout the years because Ron Wood, their guitar player, plays a sick, awesome guitar solo in it. And, all the interviews says that when he found out that Brian Wilson, that's the songwriter for the Beach Boys, and Sly Stone, he passed away like I think a week before or after him. And they were huge Sly and the Stone fans. And he said he was just inspired. It was very emotional. And it's an awesome guitar solo. I mean, even though Ronnie Wood has been in the band for like 50 years at this point, for over 40 years, he's still considered like a new guy. This poor guy. But I think he's probably he's like the best friend of every musician from that era. He's lived with John Lennon. He was roommates with Jimi Hendrix. He was in the band with Rod Stewart. I mean, so he's a character. He's hilarious and he's a fabulous guitar player. He probably doesn't get enough credit as a guitar player because he's been living in the shadow of Keith Richards, Mick Taylor, and Brian Jones. But he's fabulous and awesome guitar player. And then it ends with another cover, and it's a beautiful cover. Actually, it's called Beautiful Delilah, which is a Chuck Berry song. And this is another one kind of like the first track where it just feels like just Keith Richards and Mick Jagger just hanging out in a studio. They put the mic on, go. It's just them with guitars. I think Ronnie Wood plays some slide guitar in there. And supposedly Chad Smith, the drummer from the Chili Peppers, just plays the bass drum. So it goes like, doom, doom, just hitting, that rhythmic, just keeping the beat. But it's a beautiful way to end the album, kind of similar to their last album where they ended with a cover as well, Rolling Stone Blues. This is another one where it's just, it's not a ballad, but it's just a really kind of somewhat country twang blues version.
Right.
Beautiful dial, but acoustic version. Yeah, and it's a beautiful way to end the album. There is a bonus track if you get it off iTunes, which I got. It's called Bad Luck Hideaway, which is a country twang and has Charlie Watts on drums again, and Keith Richards and Mick Jagger trade off on lead vocals, which is cool. But for the 14 songs, I say it's a great album. Like I said, I probably would eliminate 3 of those songs to make it a nice, maybe 11-song album, but definitely recommend it. And like I said before,
that's the sweet spot. 11 songs. Like I said, 10 to 12. That's the top.
Right.
That should be where you end your album.
Yeah.
This, I think, was about an hour and change. The entire album was about an hour and change. You could have got that down to about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Their last album was 48 minutes. Yeah. So, but I could see why they kept the songs. They kept all these songs because none of them are like atrocious. Like yikes.
No, none of them are awful. Nothing that I listened. Like I said, I got about half the album. Nothing was awful.
If you really wanted to be tight, you know what I mean. But overall, like I said, their name is perfect. They got no moss. They don't slow down. It's they're playing. This album has more attitude, more spirit, and more youthfulness than a lot of artists that are out today. Regardless of genre, like they still play like that, and it's not because like they're trying to relive their youth. I think they just feel it, and then they write it, and then they play it. I don't think there's any.
Well, they come from an era where the musicianship is what's important, and the creativity is what's important, and it's not overly produced. They have to make it so that it sounds good.
Yeah,
and it's not only sounding good because of what you're doing, in the studio afterwards. And I think that comes through in their music for sure.
Yeah, and I think with Andrew Watt, their producer, it does this album have an overall modern rock sound? Absolutely. But you have these other moments where it's that classic rock and roll, like Rough and Twisted, and some of the riffs in there. Absolutely. And I was talking to Scott. He was a former guest on our show. He did our Stephen King episode. He's not only a film aficionado, but knows a lot about music. And he and I were talking about the album. And we were saying a lot of artists from that era, too, like, let's say, The Who, the McCartneys, the Paul Simons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this isn't taking a dig at them, but like a lot of their later albums or recent almost feels like a eulogy, you know? And it kind of feels like, hey, that's how they feel. What are you going to do? And they kind of sing like old men because they are old men. And I don't know, maybe that's what makes the Stones immortal is they keep playing as if they're 20 years old and it's not forced. That's the thing. This is like certain bands, they put out a new song like Def Leppard or a Bon Jovi, and it kind of just feels forced. This seems just so organic, you know what I mean? And it's just like true to who they are. So I guess that's not a diss if they're writing songs that are very, heartfelt and reminiscing about their past. Because they do this too on the album, The Stones. I guess they do it in
they do it in a different way.
Different way, man. Yeah. It's full attitude. So they are just truly one of a kind. And
you might know the answer to this. I don't know. But have they been on Stern at all in any of the interviews recently? Because I feel like this is a band that needs to get it before Howard's done, because he's already announced this week he's going down to one episode a week before the show ends. I feel like this is a band that needs to get back into the Stern studio and do one of those interview / performances.
Yeah.
Because Howard seems to bring the best out in people in those interviews, and I don't think they've done it recently, right?
Yeah, I know. I think they did it individually. I think Keith Richards has definitely done an interview I think about 3 years ago. Same with I think maybe with Mick Jagger too and Ron Wood. They never performed on there, but
I think they got to get in I think they got to do that. Everyone sounds better on Stern. I don't know why.
I know. Whoever's their engineer
everyone sounds better on the Stern show. And I think, if Howard is on his last lap before he, ends the show, especially because I don't know if you've heard, but they said they got rid of a bunch of staffers and he's going down to one. That means once this contract is up, he's done. I feel like this is the kind of band he has to get to do performance in studio. How does he not, right? Like, I feel like it would be perfect for both of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But as a Stones fan, totally recommend it. It's an awesome album. If you're a person who's just who uses their Spotify or whatever you use to listen to music, I think my wife isn't a Stones fan. I mean, she enjoys the music. She's seen them. I dragged her along to see them in concert and everything. But when I was playing this record, when I was washing the cars, she was outside watching me do it with my son in her arms, and she was tapping her foot. So that tells me if you're tapping your foot, that means it's got groove. You know what I mean? So that's a great sign of music that is working.
Yeah.
for sure. I give like 8.5 out of 10. Really great album. I say that, like I said, as objectively as possible. It's a really great album. Like I said, there's a couple of songs I could have cut off, but nonetheless, excellent album. And
do you think we'll get one more Stones album or more than one more Stones album, or do you think this might be it?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe just like they might release a couple of singles. Like I said, I don't want to be morbid. I mean, these are older guys now, and but they all seem like in good health. I mean,
somehow, yeah.
What happened with Keith is he performs on the album, but he might have enough bullets just to perform like 2 songs, and that's kind of it.
Right?
Play a 2-hour show. I mean, these guys are playing shows. I saw them like 2-3 years ago, and they did a full tour basically.
Oof.
Did 2-hour shows. They were going at 9 and end at like 11:15. Like insane. It's not like they're all ballads. I mean, Mick Jagger's running around. They're playing their songs. Like, I don't know what to say. They're not human. They were born to rock,
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Supposedly they want to tour again. I think, like I said, I think Keith is the one kind of holding them back. I don't think it's that Keith doesn't want to. I think he just
can't. Physically, he can't. Well, he's not a young dude, and obviously he didn't take care of him. I mean, he took some sort of care, but
yeah.
I don't know how they could possibly go on a full. I could see them maybe pulling off like a show, or something.
Yeah.
But
I think
a whole tour.
Yeah, they might do. I suppose they talked about. They might do a residency, and for me, they might do like a mini tour where they just do like 5 major cities. Like we're gonna do New York, L.A., Chicago, Vancouver,
like Houston or something.
I'm just making stuff, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do a 30-show tour or something like that.
No, they're not going on a statewide,
exactly.
a 50 statewide national.
They're doing a world tour, like they.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, it makes you just feel good that you still have these guys. It gives me hope for the future for everything. That if these guys are still putting out music and it's good, things can continue to get better in life. All I could say. So, but yeah, definitely recommend folks. You have a good time with them.
All right,
we'll see you at the next album release. Same time, same table.
Have a good one,
boys and girls. Lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.